We have just heard a series of thought-provoking interventions, and thank you to all of us for this very insightful moment. Mrs. President, Mr. President, as we all know, we believe that we must safeguard academic freedoms. These are important values, they are core to Europe, and they are also, this academic freedom is also necessary for innovation, for basic research, but not only for basic research. This freedom is also absolutely required to develop innovation up to the industry. And these are not empty invocations. They depend on both on an organization and on funding systems that preserves researchers' liberty. The liberty of peer recruitment, the freedom to choose research topics, the ability to pursue also scientific truths regardless of political and ideological and economical pressure. To move beyond mere platitude, we must really provide sustainable funding for independent and curiosity-driven research. The American examples offer the sobering lesson. Legal frameworks may theoretically guarantee academic freedom, but when funding channels are stopped or interrupted, then of course free inquiry, free research becomes almost impossible. Supporting academic freedom means supporting research across all disciplines, including, of course, social science and humanities, which help us to understand the dynamic at work in the deep core of our societies. More challenging still, it means supporting research that challenges our thinking patterns and established paradigms, provided it remains within, of course, legal boundaries. The worst pitfall, we believe, would be to reduce academic freedom to a slogan without providing real concrete support, including, of course, financial backing for the development of independent research sheltered from political resources. I just want to mention some of the most important quotes of the roundtable that just took place on this topic. Professor Robert Proctor, from his insight, we must really draw critical lessons to ensure European scientific research remains a public good, protected from disinformation and undue corporate influence. And I just want to quote that, the fact that, we need to start the reversal. We are right now in a situation where it's a kind of reversal of enlightenment that is taking place in several places in the world, and we really have to fight that. This concern is also evident in climate science, where Dr. Parmesan can attest researchers require robust academic freedom. And she really insisted on the fact that defending of research has immediate impact on life of citizens right now. Not in 5 years' time, not in 10 years' time. What's going on right now has an impact today on the life of people. I want to mention also the fact that Dr. Paltiel's expertise really shows how European researchers can shape inclusive and cost-effective health policies while maintaining intellectual independence from political or commercial pressure. This independence directly serves our citizen well-being. And the example that was mentioned around HIV and what's going on today on this question is really, really important. The European Research Council funding represents an extraordinary European success, positioning us globally as a center of research of excellence. I think that in Europe we excel in some domains: mathematics, earth science, fundamental biology, general chemistry, material science, neuroscience, and few others. However, we must enhance our leadership and coordination in other strategic areas. The pharmaceutical sector exemplifies this challenge. Clarisse Lost argued earlier that we must really foster effective cooperation between pharmaceutical actors without compromising scientific independence or our commitment to equitable healthcare access as a European public good. So at the same time, we need to have a strong public-private partnership but also to really safeguard, the way we interact with private interest. And of course, the role of the Commission and the role of countries' regulation is very important there. We have demonstrated this capacity for coordination, particularly in research infrastructure development, which required a shared political will and financial investment. We have done this in the past several times. We have incredible assets in Europe. CERN, Synchrotron Soleil, ISO, or the Low Langevin Institute, for instance. These are only few of the large physics infrastructures that we have in Europe and that represent strong assets and where all European countries have been working together. As we look forward, we must really consider that these national labs or European labs must really be taken care of by United States approach. All countries together in Europe, and EU should play really an important role. The technical revolution that we have today around AI is also very important, and Anne Bouvreau insights were really very, very important and invaluable. I just want to focus on one point, on the fact that we discussed a lot of open data, open AI, and open science. And this is, of course, very important for science. At the same time, we have to be not too much naive, and we have also to take into account that the more open we are today, it's very useful for companies. So we need to have the European companies that can really exploit this openness. Because if we open everything and that behind, we have only, companies from the US or from China that use our open data, then it's, I would say, half a success. So, we have to keep this in mind. Industry leader, perhaps to conclude, Florent Ménégo of Michelin really focused on the fact that, how public and private interest in research can cooperate, and how much important it is to have long-term research that's led in universities, in public organizations, that then is taken care of by Michelin, and the fact that you have long-term research that is led in cooperation with private industrial organization is really core to the efficiency of the innovation system. In conclusion, I just want to simply recall that preserving academic freedom is not only for researchers, it's for all of us, it's also for innovation, and it's also for industry. Thank you very much.